I was in London yesterday and I picked up a copy of the Daily Mail, and bizarrely, I was so entertained by it. I picked up a copy of the Daily Mail on my way to the supermarket today, and and there's an article by Richard Eden. I can't remember whether it was yesterday or today. That's why I'm being a bit evasive. And in it, he claims there is a sinister establishment plot to undermine the Prince and Princess of Wales in order to rehabilitate Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. He presents support for Harry as if it were an act of quiet rebellion against William and Catherine. I read this with astonishment and with some mounting anger. It's an example of media manipulation at its most cynical. Eden frames a familiar tabloid narrative, the Waleses as long-suffering dignified victims, Harry and Meghan as scheming returnees, aided by shadowy establishment figures. His key evidence is a single peace summit, a July meeting between communications aides of King Charles and of the Sussexes, and a string of stories about reconciliation. From this, he infers a deliberate campaign to bring Harry and Meghan back into public favour while cornering William and Catherine. And this leap from a private attempt to heal a family rift to a conspiracy to topple the heirs is breathtaking. It reads less like reporting and more like theatre, a morality play with heroes, villains, and a lurking cabal. And why is it problematic? Because it turns the monarchy into a soap opera. Private family pain, cancer, estrangement, security fears is turned into clickbait about power struggles. Second, it weaponizes public sympathy. Anyone who thinks Harry and Meghan might, after 5 bruising years, deserve some humane treatment is cast as part of a plot against William and Catherine. And third, it stokes a false zero-sum game. If you hope for peace with Harry, you must hate William. That is not only untrue, it's corrosive, and it pits supporters of one branch of a family against another when the monarchy's survival depends on unity and measured public affection, not gladiatorial combat. Now, it's manipulative. Notice the mechanics, the sinister language, plot, stitch-up, appeasement, and the anonymous sources presented as palace truth, the selective chronology. The July meeting becomes proof of an organised campaign rather than what it probably was, adults trying to de-escalate. And the emotive suffering, Catherine's illness and William's loyalty are used as a moral armour to shut down any alternative view. It's classic tabloid framing. Create a grand betrayal story, cast yourself as the whistleblower and keep readers engaged and loyal. I mean, it is. To his credit, Richard Eden's rubbish is brilliantly written. But it is, it is nevertheless rubbish. And why should we care? Because the health of our public discourse is in danger. Because the style of coverage does real harm. It cheapens serious constitutional journalism. It manipulates public sentiment at moments when empathy for a sick Princess of Wales, for a fractured family, should prevail, and it gives oxygen to conspiracy, thinking about the crown, secret plots, shadowy establishment figures, anti-Wales cabals. It also pressures the king. And any attempt by Charles to heal a family breach can now be spun as betrayal of his heir. That is a recipe for paralysis and resentment, not stability. I think there is a better way to see this situation. One can support William and Catherine wholeheartedly. One can admire their restraint and still believe reconciliation with Harry is healthy. One can criticise Harry's past actions without insisting he should grovel forever. Families are complicated, monarchies doubly so. There is no need for this melodramatic zero-sum thinking while some second-rate journalist pockets his fee. Richard Eden's column is not harmless gossip. It's an attempt to define loyalty to the monarchy as hostility to part of the monarchy's family. That is dark, it's nasty, it's manipulative. And the royal family is not a political party. We should resist efforts to turn it into one. So when you read claims of an establishment plot to dethrone William and Catherine in favour of Harry and Meghan, treat them as what they are, tabloid theatre dressed as inside knowledge. We owe the Prince and Princess of Wales, and indeed the King and his youngest son, something better than this cynical trash, this horrible narrative, this filth. Come on.